Hello, everyone. Before I even introduce the topic for today, I would like to ask one question. What was that one skill that every professional needed 10 years ago? Would you say it was Excel? What was it 5 years ago? Zoom came into picture, and today it is AI literacy. And I'm not talking about learning how to code or how to build robots. I'm talking about how to show up in a meeting, write an email, coach a team, or even present to the AI leadership, all with AI being your co pilot. The way we communicate at work is changing rapidly. And if we don't adapt, we will be outpaced by a person who already knows how to work with AI, right? A machine enhanced peer. Because communication is no longer human only, it has become human plus AI. Now, think about it. How many hours do you spend writing emails, summarizing meetings, making slides, or rehearsing for a presentation? What if AI could cut that time into half while also making you sharper, faster, and more persuasive? In today's session, we are going to dive into exactly that. But more importantly, we'll shift your mindset because that's very important, right? AI is not here to replace you, but AI is here to amplify. And those who know how to speak its language, it's a win because it's not just a technical skill, it is also a communication skill. And very soon, it will be one of the most valuable soft skills in your leadership toolkit. Now, let me break that into what do we actually mean by AI literacy in communication. It is the ability to work with AI tools to plan, draft, and analyze, and also refine our communication, emails, presentations, speeches, even to the minutest of a detail of tweaking our tone and timing. So, what it also means is that it is not going to replace our voice, but using AI is to make your voice land better. Whether you lead a team or you speak, you write, you're a future leader. If you can't use AI to think, speak, and write, or even prompt to talk to AI, we will fall behind those who can actually do it and effectively use AI in their workplace communication. According to McKinsey's report, what it says is that AI could automate 50% of the workplace communication tasks by 2030. And that future is knocking really hard and really fast for all of us. And now here's the reality check. AI tools like ChatGPT, Grammarly, Notion AI are already there in your inboxes, calendars, notes. You may already have been using them. But the real question is, are you using them strategically? Are you applying them to the speed to speed up your daily communication, to create your visibility, to improve the messaging quality that you've always been doing? Or you're just dabbling with these AI tools? Because the truth is that the dabblers won't survive the shift which is coming in, and AI fluency is no longer optional. Even what Harvard Business Review calls it calls it the new digital body language, because we are not just judged by what we say, but we are judged by how we say it with or without AI assistance. Right. So that's what is a digital body language which comes in picture. Because when we are talking, even in the webinar, you're able to see how I'm emoting, my body language, the way my facial expressions, even the micro expressions of my face is. But the thing is that when we are writing emails, when we are messaging, people will not be able to judge by the body language which is behind the words. So it is necessary for us right now to learn and adapt to the digital body language. How can we emote? through the words. And for all of this, AI could come in handy. So here is my promise to you today. You are going to walk away with three things: the clarity on what AI literacy in communication looks like, tools we can start using the very same week, and a 30-day challenge that can help us build AI confidence in communication. Because your career isn't just about knowledge anymore, it is more about the adaptability to the AI tools which is there around. And the leaders of tomorrow won't just speak well, they'll be prompting well. They'll collaborate with machines. They will know when to ask AI and when to say this one needs a human touch, right? Because it's also a balance between the taking help of the machines and also applying our mind strategically and to apply that human touch and personalize to whoever we are as a brand. So, with that, let us start talking about why this matters now more than ever for every professional in today's life. Let's start with a truth bomb. Communication has always been considered as a soft skill, but soft skills are becoming the hardest to master in the age of AI. And now there's a new one entering the game, which is called the AI literacy. Not technical fluency, not the machine learning language to understand how the neural paths work. I mean, your ability to use the AI tools to enhance your clarity, your impact, and more importantly, speed in the way you communicate and you do your communication tasks at your workplace. According to the World Economic Forum, the Future of Jobs report, what it says is that the AI and communication are no longer separate, they are converging. And the professionals who learn to blend the two will be able to lead with influence, collaboration, and decision making, better decision making. So, now what makes AI literacy a soft skill and not just a digital skill? Because it's about the human application. It is not about feeding some data into some model. It is asking the right questions, prompting very clearly, and third is to review the output critically. And above and all, integrating it into a human to human interactions. In other words, it's about understanding how AI thinks, why it produces what it does, and then shaping that into getting something very meaningful for our communication tasks. You don't need to be a programmer or a coder. All you have to be is you need to be a communicator who knows to delegate the communication tasks to AI smartly. And that soft skill is what we are talking about, and that is gold, right? So now, here's where it gets really real. A 2024 LinkedIn Learning report showed that AI literacy is the fastest growing skill being added to the leadership development programs worldwide. It's being taught in the technical departments, not just in the technical departments, but also in communication, marketing, HR, and overall the leadership training. Why? Because companies have realized leaders who can't use AI to write, speak, and present efficiently slow the entire team down. So, what's really happening is that the expectation now is you don't write from the scratch. You start co creating with AI. You don't need to just send emails. You use AI to refine them for the tone, for the clarity, for the audience. And this is exactly what will be your workplace agility. And it is all going to be refined by the AI. Let me give you an example. Imagine two managers sending a performance email. One writes manually, it's okay, but really a vague email. Uses the other one, let's say the other manager runs a draft through the chat GPT to clarify the message, and then he goes on to the Grammarly to strike the right tone and sends more empathetic, more structured message almost in half the time. Which manager among the two, the one who has written it manually, the other one who has taken the support of AI, out of both of these manager, who builds trust with the team? Which one sounds more professional? Which one has reduced the conflict and misinterpretation? And that's not tech magic, it is the evolution of communication that is happening through AI. And it starts with knowing how to use AI well, and not just the use it wisely kind of an AI knowledge that we all should have. Now, here's the bottom line. In 2025 and beyond, AI literacy will define how well you communicate, how well you collaborate, and lead. It is no more that nice to have anymore kind of a skill, but it is going to be a new workplace skill that is going to be dominating all of our workplaces shortly. If you're not learning this, what's really happening is that we're all falling behind. But if you start now, you become the leaders that others look up to, because AI doesn't eliminate your voice, but AI just amplifies your voice. So, coming up next, what we will do is that we will explore how this is already happening around every single day, whether we know it is there or not. All right. So, five everyday scenarios where AI is already helping us communicate. This is something that we will see. So, now again, let's bust a myth. You're not preparing for the future where AI will enter your workflow. We are already in it, whether it's our Google suggesting email replies or your Grammarly tweaking your tone. Even when I write on my WhatsApp on my desktop, there is Grammarly sitting and tweaking my tone and giving me suggestions on how better I could be writing. And the most important thing is that we will have to learn and adapt as and when Grammarly or any other tool suggests how we should be working on it, right? So we should learn along with AI, not just take the suggestions blindly. So let's move on to the scenario number one, writing emails faster and smarter. So let's start with the most common form of communication, right? Email is one, the common form of workplace communication. What McKinsey report says is that they found that professionals spend nearly 28 percentage of their week on email. So 28 percentage of a week's time is spent on the emails. Now imagine slashing that time with AI. Tools like ChatGPT, Grammarly can help you write, edit, and even adapt the tone. Whether you're sending a quick update to your boss or you're giving a delicate feedback note to your team, you can actually be writing it down with a lot of empathy, adapting the tone that you want to give, and check whether you're aggressive, passive, or passive aggressive, or even assertive, right? So, checking the tone, giving a more confident tone to your emails, all of that could be done with the email AI tools to be writing your emails. Now, let's move on to the second scenario where we are summarizing meetings. Meetings, we have all had like a lot of meetings in a day. You might have had like a 60-minute call and you need to send a summary. Right now, instead of writing a manual summary of noting down every single points, tools like Otter.ai, Fireflies, Zoom AI Companion do it for all of us live. What they do is that they transcribe, highlight the action points, and even allow you to search by the speaker. Imagine your manager saying, "Hey, can you send me that what Raj said about the question number three?" And you don't guess, you can just go ahead and search in your AI companion, the Zoom AI companion, which is there. This is more about not just automation, but the precision memory that the AI has. And this will help us give a faster and a sharper communication post your meeting. So the next scenario number three, is how do we create slides in minutes? We all have spent hours on presentation. That's how, when I started my work, I used to spend a lot of hours on bringing the presentation, putting the flow together, putting the content in it, and then hours and hours of refining. I've spent a lot of hours on presentation only to realize that sometimes it looks average. Right? AI tools like Gamma, Beautiful AI now helps us generate a full slide deck just from the introduction till the Q&A with very nice bullet points. Your input would be team performance overview, challenges, solutions, next steps, and then Gamma gives you clean slides with talking points as well. This doesn't make you lazy, it makes you more strategic because spending less time formatting and thinking through how many bullet points, which picture has to be where, all of this can be taken away. Let AI handle the design part and you bring the content, the story, the flow that you want to build into your presentations. Now, moving on to the fourth scenario, prepping for tough conversations. Now, let's talk about this emotionally charged communication, like you have to give feedback to your team members, or you have to manage conflict between your team members. A lot of emotionally charged conversation that we go through day in, day out. Did you know that you can use ChatGPT to role play difficult conversations? All you have to do is to prompt it. The prompt, like, I need to talk to my team member about poor performance without demotivating him, to actually encourage him to do better when his work tasks are coming his way. Give more clear and specific prompt. And AI gives us phrasing, structure, and even the tone guidance. You refine it to sound like you, the person that you are. It is not about scripting, it is about clarifying your intent and getting confident before the actual tough moment arrives. Think of it as your rehearsal partner, always ready, but it never judges you at all. So, this is a great way to actually get into a tough conversation and to crack it and to make the other person feel nice as well. Right. So the next one is to practice the presentations. It's all about the rehearsals of presentations. And I've read about Steve Jobs that he blocks 1 month only for rehearsals to practice his product launches. And we all know how great his product launches have always been. And for somebody as great as a storyteller or in tech world that he used to block 1 month of rehearsal time. And that goes out to talk about how much time everyone spends on practicing presentations. And finally, now let us talk about the public speaking aspect and the storytelling aspect at your workplace. Tools like Udly can use you can use Udly to analyze your speaking pace, filler notes, how is your eye contact, how is your tone, your clarity, and everything that you can be catching in your rehearsal. Udly is a tool which can actually analyze your rehearsal and present a great report. It can even give you feedback like, hey, you said 12 times. Your energy dipped at minute 3. Think about that. You don't need a coach every time to sit opposite to you and make your rehearsals. And in what I said about Steve Jobs, he used to have his own team members sitting in that whole auditorium where the actual product masterclass will happen. He used to make his whole team sit in the entire auditorium, seating at different places, and that's how his rehearsals will happen. And now, where have we evolved? We have AI sitting in front of us and going through our rehearsals and giving us feedback like nobody could ever give, right? Think about that. You don't need those people or a coach every time. You have one in the pocket, and when you show up to speak, whether it's in front of 5 people or 50 people or 5,000 people, your voice can be refined, your message can be crisp, and your confidence can be really real if we start using AI for our practice sessions. So, yes, here are few scenarios that we saw where we can use AI in so many ways in our workplace communication, where AI could literally be our email partner, slide creator, meeting recorder, tone coach, and anything that we could ever think of AI in in the workplace. Now let's move on to the next segment where we look at how to master AI overnight. You don't need to method. You just don't need a method to build confidence and momentum. Now let's look at the first one is to actually bust that overwhelm of using AI. When every time we all hear AI, sometimes we feel intimidated, sometimes we feel overwhelmed because we all imagine those codes, robots, and the complex algorithms which runs. But here's the truth: we don't need to be a tech expert to be an AI literate. We just need curiosity, adaptability, and the way we can integrate that AI into our workplace and everyday communication. And that's all it. Most professionals get stuck not because they're incapable, but because they just get so overwhelmed. So today, I'm going to give you a very simple 30-day plan. It's practical, it's doable, and by the end of it, we'll be more confident to use AI and integrate it into our everyday communication. And that's something that we can be actually gifting ourselves with. So, the first step to this 30-day plan is that to understand the landscape. Take the next 10 days to understand. You don't need to sign up for a course or go deep into understand the neural networks. All you need to do is to get an exposure. Explore one AI tool per day. It could be Grammarly, it could be ChatGPT, Gamma, Beautiful.ai. Spend 15 minutes, click around, try a feature, ask it to rewrite an email or summarize a blog. This is not about mastery, it is about familiarity. Getting familiar with each tool a day to understand how it operates and to understand what are the features that it is offering. The goal is that we have to move from, yeah, I have heard about it, to, yes, I have tried it. Because awareness creates confidence, and then the confidence builds the momentum for us. Now, let's move on to the step number two: integrate into one workflow. Now, let's consider day 11 to day 12, 20 as for integration. Choose one communication task that you do regularly. Maybe it is writing status updates, preparing your slide decks for your team communication, or giving feedback to your team. Now, start using AI to enhance that entire workflow of each of the tasks. Let's say writing an email, right? Or even giving your team a feedback. Now, the next step is that you use ChatGPT to create the first draft that you have to communicate on. The second thing is to add it to the workflow is to use Grammarly. Now, tune the tone using Grammarly. It is also important for us to understand which how many tones are there, which tone can be used for which particular kind of communication, who is the audience, and how the tone has to be accustomed to the audience. So all of this is something that we can play around when we are learning this whole workflow of tool chain that we are going to use. The next step could be to use, in case you're preparing a slide deck, next add Beautiful.ai or Gamma to prepare that slide deck that you want to prepare. The key here is that consistency. Pick the tools that you want to use in this workflow. Use it every day for that one task that you want to learn that whole AI tool chain and see what fits. One day it could be Beautiful.ai, another day it could be Gamma, right? Whichever makes you feel comfortable. But the most important thing is that from the day 20, 10 to 11 to day 20, all you have to do is to pick that tool chain and keep using it so that you will understand which one you are comfortable with. Because you're not just experimenting anymore, you're building a habit. And that's how AI goes from novelty to the necessity. Now let's move on to step number three: reflect and optimize. Now we move into day 21 to day 30. It's about a lot of reflection and optimization that could happen. This is where the real learning happens. And ask yourself, what can be improved? What surprised me today? And where can AI save time for me? So asking yourself questions and which one I'm most importantly comfortable with. So what happens is that you will start understanding the tools that you're feeling very comfortable with and the actual tool chain that can actually be useful for you. Sometimes I use Perplexity and ChatGPT together because when I have to go research on certain topic, more than ChatGPT, I feel very confident and comfortable with Perplexity because it also gives me the links. So when you have the hands-on in day from day one till day 20, what really happens is that you will now be able to understand which tool to use when. And that is where your productive growth actually happens. Now, the last one is to own your AI mindset. And finally, this is not just a skill building plan, it is actually a mindset shift. We are training the brain to think how AI can support me here. And that's where the transferability actually happens. And that question alone unlocks various creative possibilities to actually use AI in various forms in our communication. Over time, if you're going to ask these questions and learn these tools and keep using them, over time, our confidence drastically grows and our output as well improves really, really well. And that's an edge that we can carry at our workplace. Now that we have learned about how the next 30 days can be utilized by creating a small and a simple plan for us to learn AI. Now let's look at your AI toolkit for communication, the right tools that can make you be more efficient if you know how to use them. The power of right tools, right? So let me ask you something. If I gave you a high performance race car, but you didn't know how to drive it, how will that be? It is almost useless, right? And that's exactly what happens when professionals hear about AI tools, but they never learn how to apply them in our everyday work. So, in this segment, I'm giving you a communication toolkit, specific AI tools mapped to real life tasks. You don't need to actually use all of them. Just pick one or two so that you can start getting your hands on and learn how to use them. And over time, in that 30-day window period, you will know how to integrate these tools into your real life communication tasks. All right. The first one is to writing and editing tools. Let's start with the basics, writing, editing. ChatGPT is the number one where I have used it enormously. Great for brainstorming, great for giving us the first drafts of our, it could be anything, writing your email, writing your messages, writing your tough conversations, and rewriting tone. Very importantly, summarizing complex ideas. One of my friend told me that, Kavina, in case you don't understand some deep technical topics, all you have to ask ChatGPT is to give a prompt and say, explain the same thing as like you're explaining to a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or a teen, right? So that way, ChatGPT is really amazing at how it can summarize complex ideas to you to understand better. The next tool that I'd like to recommend is the Grammarly Go. More than grammar, this tool refines the tone and adds that clarity, and even builds that confidence at the end. The outcome that it gives is really good. So that's Grammarly Go. Grammarly also has this that can be installed in your desktop and your phones, where it every time you type any message, be it in a document, be it in your WhatsApp, it always gives you suggestions to improve the communication, and you can learn communication along with Grammarly. The next one is Quillbot. For paraphrasing and simplifying jargon heavy text, Quillbot is something which can be a great paraphraser for you to get at. The next one, So the pro tip here is that please start using ChatGPT to generate your message and use Grammarly to polish it. And together you can use them as your great assistants in writing, editing, managing your tone, all of it you can be doing with these tools. The next one I would like to suggest for speaking and coaching is the Udly. Udly is like the Toastmasters meets AI. And if you are a Toastmaster, you also get Udly along with your subscription. So Udly is a tool which analyzes your filler words, pauses, space, clarity. It also gives you feedback on your confidence, tone, and vocal energy. So I use Udly a lot. There is also one more tool called ORI. ORAI, right? So that's another tool. It's spelled as ORAI. So that is also a tool which is similar to Udly, which can give you feedback on the way you're presenting yourself. So before you get into your next review meeting, your interviews, which is happening, client pitch, run your script through Udly. You'll instantly know where to pause. When did you sound flat? Where did your energy dip? How to level up your voice? All of that could be given as a feedback by the tool. So use it as your rehearsal partner. So the next one is meeting and productivity tools, right? So that's another thing that we normally use a lot. So now let's tackle the time drainers, which happens where you have hours and hours of meeting and you have to take the action notes along with it. One thing that I would suggest is fireflies.ai. It joins a Zoom call, take notes, identifies action items. So Fathom is another one. It is also something which gives you instant summaries and follow-ups. So Otter.ai gives you live transcription, speaker suppression, and automatic highlights that it can be creating. So these are certain tools which will give you, they don't record basically, but they give a structured communication summary of the meetings. So you don't have to sit and write MOMs. You just have to refer to these tools and they will give you great MOMs. And all you have to do is to refine and send it to the audience. The second thing that you can do is to get the summary and transcription through these tools. And then the next level, you can use ChatGPT to change the tone, to change the structure in which you have to be sending it to your colleagues or other stakeholders. The next one that I wanted to talk about is slides and visuals. We use a lot of presentations day in, day out. It's a very structured form of communication that we use. So you can use Beautiful.ai and Gamma because they are power packed deck creators. You just have to know what you're talking about, enter your bullet points, and they give you beautifully designed slides, story arcs, visuals, and they are simply amazing the way they create the PPTs. There's also Canva Magic, right? You can use this inside Canva to generate captions, headlines, and there is even a place where you can rewrite using AI and check how better can you be writing your bullet points and the content inside your presentations. So that for the next meeting or your stakeholders update or your all hands meet, don't start from a blank slide. Let's AI do the first 50 percentage and you focus on the content and you focus on the storytelling that you will have to bring in into your presentation. So these tools are not meant to replace you. They are here to amplify you, to get you sharper, more clearer, and more intense in your communication. And once you start using them, at least one of them consistently, you will save a lot of time and you will deliver your communication much more sharper and more impactful. And it lets your communication land at a better place. So, with that, we will move on to the next segment. We'll talk about the mistakes to avoid while using AI at your workplace, because AI is powerful, but only if we know how to use it wisely. So the first mistake is the over reliance trap. Let me be very clear. AI is just an assistant. It is not a replacement. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of professionals make is to blindly trust the AI tools. They take the first draft ChatGPT offers and paste it into an email, no edits, no tone checks, no context. This is dangerous. AI don't understand the power dynamics which is happening, the company culture, the sensitive timing. It doesn't know that your boss prefers a direct tone or your client needs a gentle persuasion. It just writes. So it is your job not just to copy, paste, and send it, but to critically edit it. And that is how a human filter is always that needs to be applied before you hit the send. So, over reliance on AI is a dangerous thing. So, let's also apply our human intelligence into every communication that we aid with AI. The second trap that we all have is the copy paste culture. It kills our credibility. The second mistake is overusing the same AI phrasing. If your email starts sounding very robotic, repetitive, generic, people will start noticing what you're doing. You will lose authenticity and influence. Let don't ever let the AI strip your voice. We need to create our voice. We need to bring our voice into every communication that we are doing. Use AI only to generate drafts, not deliverables. Think of AI as a ghostwriter, right? Not our spokesperson. So the ghostwriter gives us what we do is we review it, we edit it, and then we send it. Grammarly Go, for the as an example, gives multiple tone suggestions. What is our human intelligence here is to choose to add the right tone and then add our touch to it, because leadership is personal and using AI is a skill, but we need to know how to infuse AI, how to use AI as an assistant, and then use our human intelligence to add our personality to whatever communication that we are doing. The third mistake that we are all doing is to ignoring the policy and privacy policies at our organizations. The last but critical thing that I wanted to talk is not to ignore organizations' AI use policy, because some companies restrict AI tools for security, IP, and compliance reasons. There's not many reasons to it. Before you start using any tools like ChatGPT for internal content, please check your guidelines and never paste sensitive information or confidential data into the public tools like ChatGPT, because AI literacy also means AI responsibility. Lead the conversation at work, not just how we use AI, but how we use it more ethically. And that's where we all are stepping into using AI in a most literate way. All right, with that, we've now learned what are the traps that we all have and how to avoid those traps. Now, let's explore certain mindset shifts that we all have as a future ready communicator who needs to embrace their future readiness in this AI powered world. So, the first one I wanted to talk is that we all know that communication has entered into a new era and we need to start being AI literate. The first thing is to move from fear to fluency. I want to say this very clearly: AI is not something that we look at as an enemy who has come to take our jobs. It is going to aid us, it is going to assist us better. So that's the factor that we have to move from being so fearful about AIs to being very fluent in how to use them and how to get better outcomes and deliverables out of it. The next one is to lead the change in your team. So now this gets bigger than you are. As a communicator, you are now in a position to lead the change. Most of the teams are still figuring how to use AI, how to get AI literate. They're experimenting in silos. They are very unsure of how the organization policies are. So what you can be doing is that you have a vocabulary writer, you have a structure on how to use AI ethically. So mentor others on how to use AI ethically and how they can be cutting down their time and apply AI to become better future ready communicators. So that's the second one. The third one is a human advantage. AI doesn't replace connection, but you do. People still want to be seen, heard, understood. AI doesn't build culture, but the leaders do. So please do not use AI to manage the tension in the meeting. You do it in the most empathetic way that you can ever do. So learning to get that human advantage of where to use, when to use AI, and how to use your own voice is very important. So, with that, here's your challenge. Pick one AI tool from today, use it to improve one communication task in this week, reflect on the differences between AIs, share with what you've learned with your colleague so that you are not just AI literate yourself, you're also promoting AI literacy at your workplace. And I will leave you with this. AI isn't an end to human communication. It is just becoming more strategic, more empathetic, and a more elevated one. So that's how you can be redefining your communication with the use of chat gpt and various other tools. This is your moment. Speak to lead with AI by your side, become more AI literate, and that is a new soft skills which is going to come, which has already arrived in our workplaces, and start building your AI literacy today. With that, thank you very much.